It's time to bring you yet another amazing episode. And now, welcome your host.
Now, the purpose of life is to live it. And the purpose of Randy by Omobola Stephen is for us to offer disruptive yet constructive mindship conversations on topics and subjects that are related to personal development and self-improvement. My name is Omobola Stephen. I'm the host of Randy by Omobola Stephen. And welcome to the show, Randy by Omobola Stephen. On the podcast, Randy by Omobola Stephen, we love to explore topics and subjects under these subtopics: spirituality, business, relationships, family, and all there is about personal development and self-improvement. Now, we emphasize the importance of embracing personal development and self-improvement along the course of our lives, because when we do so, we tend to find ourselves along the way. And when we find ourselves, we realize that there's so much bounties that the universe has in store for us when we don't give up. Now, personal development and self-improvement is a lifelong process. You and I need to embrace in order for us to move from where we are to where we need to be. The mission and the focus of Larry Omobola Stephen is to pivot the changes you and I need in the side of eternity with positive life transforming insight from experts and professionals who are adept in these topics. Today, I'll be focusing on spirituality, and I have Randy Lyman. We call him the spiritual cowboy. He's the transformative guide, a physicist, and former engineer leader. He does empower individuals to deepen their emotional and spiritual lives. Welcome to the show with me, Randy.
Well, good to be with you, Omobola.
Good to have you on the show, Randy. Looking forward to a great time. I would like us to talk about how we can craft a purposeful life that is full of harmony and abundance. So I'm looking forward to a great time, and so does my audience.
Excellent. Well, myself as well. If we're not able to embrace our emotional side, it's really a challenge to have a fulfilled life.
Absolutely. Good to know that. So what is the emotional understanding? What is the importance important to us, and also the relationships that we manage?
Well, the way I look at emotional understanding and how I manage that is to be fluid in our emotions, which means we have to become comfortable with our negative emotions, our challenging emotions, as well as our positive emotions. So things like anger and resentment and emotional trauma we have from the past stays with us until we're able to actually feel it and release it. And so in order to be present in the current moment and to feel the joy in our life, we have to be willing to embrace those things that aren't so joyful in a way that we can heal them and let them go. Because if we try to avoid them, they still stay with us and they influence us and they keep us from being open to our positive emotions. So for me, it's all about how do we find a way to find the gifts in our pain and feel the pain and release it, because we're not meant to be in pain. God wants us to let go of our anger and resentment and jealousy and those things, but they live within us without knowing the boundaries of time, because our emotions are bigger than time and space. Those negative emotions live within us until we're able to embrace them and to feel them completely. And in avoiding those, as I said, we're also avoiding the joy and the love and the wonderful things that we're here to experience as human beings.
All right. Now, so talking about emotions, we know that when we don't manage our emotions, they can really mess things up for us. Now, that's the importance of having an emotional stability. Now, I like us to look at those who are going through unpredictable emotional responses. Right. Now, it's always seems like what you give back to the universe, it gives back to you. And now they have emotional responses. Sometimes they feel frustrated by stagnation or disconnect. So, what's your own strategy that can help them to be able to find the way out?
Well, from my experience, when we are disconnected, it's because we're avoiding something. We're avoiding feeling a deeper part of ourself. We're avoiding feeling pain from the past. And our mind believes that it can think its way through pain. It believes it can think its way through emotional healing. But our mind is only present, or is never present in the moment. Our mind is always a stream of thoughts from the past to the future, of the past or of the future, and it's never in the present moment. And our emotions can only come through our body, and our body only knows the present moment. Our body is always in the present moment, and that's the only place we can experience our emotions. And so, if our mind is distracting us from the feelings, then we're not able to feel joy. We're not able to heal. We're not able to have an emotional experience. And especially those people who are intelligent and strong, we become really good at pushing our emotions down, and we think we're leading a good life, but we're not here just to think, we're here to feel. We're here to feel the joy of life. And so the secret for me and for the people I work with is to be willing to explore the painful emotions, not to stay in them, not to be stuck in them, not because that's our goal is to feel pain, but because our goal is to release pain. And so for me, that is really the gift, is to find a way through meditation, through breathing exercises, through simply walking in nature, to go back in and feel the pain that we're avoiding. Then we can be present, then we can feel the joy, then we can connect with the people around us that we love.
Now, still talking about feeling our feeling the emotions, the pain, the hurts that are there. Now, invariably, you are telling my audience that they should start acknowledging these emotions, right? Now, in acknowledging these emotions, so a school of thought also opines that when it comes to negative emotions, we just have to just ditch it away. We don't want to accept that it is there. So we tend to embrace the positive emotions. Now, does it seems that this is selfish and we are not being realistic with ourselves?
Well, realistic is the key word that you use. And realistic for me comes down to the deepest part of our experience is emotional, and emotions know no time. They are bigger than time and space. So if I have a negative emotion from 5 years ago or 25 years ago, it's like storing petroleum, gasoline. It's like storing gasoline in a can. The energy is still there until I feel it and experience that emotion and burn that off. So if I burn off gasoline that I've been storing for 25 years, it burns once and it's gone. And emotions are the same way. Yes, we want to feel good. We want to avoid those emotions, but they will store and influence our reality today until we feel them completely. And again, the goal is not to be stuck there. The goal is to feel them and release them. And even though we want to be realistic, our mind wants to avoid that pain. Our mind, our ego's job is to protect us from physical pain, but it also protects us from emotional pain. And God wants us to release that pain, and feeling it is the only way. We cannot think our way through it. I know I said that 2 or 3 times already, but that's the challenge, is so many people are taught to believe if we just think positive thoughts, everything will be okay. And I'm not saying we shouldn't think positive thoughts. We should always come back to a place of positive thoughts to create a positive outcome. But the healing only happens in the moment through our body, not through our mind.
Now, quickly tell me, in the process of healing, what are the steps or the actions that we need to take in the process of healing?
Well, there's several different techniques that work, and everybody's a little different. So I don't believe there's just one technique, but anything that will bring us back to being aware of our body sensations in the moment. So breathing exercises are really helpful for that, and there's many different breathing exercises. But when we just simply become aware of our breath, now our mind is involved in awareness rather than making up a story. So when we're aware of our breath, we're feeling our body. And if we set the intention that we're going to heal and we're going to allow our emotions to come through, now our mind believes, and it is actually in control. It can stop to protect us if it thinks it needs to protect us. But when we're using our mind to be aware of our breath, it puts us in the current moment where we can feel the trauma from the past. For some people, yoga is really, really useful. That's one of the main intentions of yoga, is to become aware of the present moment and aware of our body and to release energy from our body. For some, massage therapy works, acupuncture can work. And like I say, simply walking in nature and stopping and being aware of the beauty around us. When we're in a place of gratitude and observing beauty, then we stop our mind from just endless chatter that separates us from our body and from our emotions that we're trying to feel, good, bad, and otherwise. And again, in order to feel the good, we have to be willing to feel the bad. So the techniques and the modality vary as to what's effective from person to person, but the goal is to become aware of our body sensations in the moment.
All right, thank you, Randy. So let's move on to achieving balance in life, or also how we can achieve harmony. I'd like us to put them in proper perspective, balance and harmony. Now, to achieve a balance in life may be uneasy. I hope you can agree with me on that, because we have a lot of toxic situations that some of us bedeviled with, and we find it uneasy to be able to strike a balance in our daily lives. Now, so do you think harmony can help in this situation?
Did you say harmony?
That's right.
Absolutely, but the only way we can really feel harmony is to address all three aspects or elements of being human. And so the one I talk about first, they're not in any particular order, but the one I talk about first is our mind and our thoughts and information. The second is our physical body and the physical world around us, and the things we need to do in that physical world and our physical world to stay on track and in balance. And then our emotions, our feelings and emotions. So it's like a three-legged stool. If we only have two legs on that stool, we're going to fall over. We're going to be off balance. And so the trick is to be aware of our emotions, but not controlled by our emotions. To be comfortable with feeling the negative, and for some people, it's a challenge to be comfortable feeling the positive. Some people have been told that they shouldn't feel too good, that they shouldn't be too prideful. And I'm not saying that pride from a place of ego is good, but pride from a place of gratitude and feeling the abundance that we are part of. See, here's the dichotomy. Here's the real trick. We are all from a spark of the divine creator, but our ego is separate from that. So to find a place of balance of being in human and the being part of us, the spiritual being part of us, and finding that balance is the key. So having positive thoughts, taking care of our physical body and the environment around us, and feeling our emotions and finding balance within all three of those is not an easy task, but it does require being bold enough, brave enough to feel our emotions so that we can be aware of them and find balance within them, because avoiding them is not a place of balance. Avoiding our emotions simply takes us away from balance. So to first start down that path is scary for people. For me, it was scary to start to feel my emotions. I was about 28 years old. It was many years ago. And when I started feeling the emotions of joy, then the emotions of pain snuck in. And until I understood that I really could feel those emotions of pain and release them, I turned all of my emotions off. I was not balanced at all. So we don't come into balance quickly. We don't come into balance easily when we start to explore emotions we've avoided. But the only way to find that balance is through the path of acceptance, through the path of discovery, and through the path of healing. And the journey is worth taking, but it's not a simple journey. The best thing to do is find a friend or a mentor who's been down that path of accepting their emotions and exploring all of their emotions, and finding someone who can give us support and guidance and help us understand that although it's not easy, it's definitely worth the journey.
And now, I'm thinking in my head, we find those who are in the situation of finding joy. I know this is also one of your expertise and how you help your clients to find joy, peace, and clarity. This is what you do. in your expertise, are we supposed to be finding these elements in our life or creating them?
Well, both. That exists already in some level around us, not always obviously around us, and it exists at some level within us. And again, it's not always obvious because if we are avoiding our emotions, then we're avoiding the joy also. But the natural state of our being, when we release the negative emotions, the natural state of our being is love and joy. When we come into this planet and we're born and whether we're 3 weeks old or 2 or 3 years old, our natural state is love and joy. But then we have to learn to adapt to the humans and the environment around us. And the environment is intended to appear scary and fearful. And I say appear, it doesn't mean it has to be, but it looks that way. And so we learn to let go of that beautiful joy within us, and we learn to protect us from the things that we believe are fearful. Because when we're a helpless child, it can be fearful. So we learn to protect, we learn to shut off our emotions, we learn that the world is a fearful place, and that's not God's truth. So part of the journey is to start off as a young, innocent infant and to learn what we believe are the right rules to fit in with society. And in fitting in with society, we give up that beautiful, joyous part of ourselves in order to exist in a physical world where we need food and shelter and love. And we give up a part of ourselves. And then as we become a young adult and an older adult, we have the opportunity to say, wait a minute, this is not who I really am. This person who shows up in a suit and tie and a button-up shirt and wants to act as an adult all the time without the joyous, creative, happy child within us, that's still a viable part of who we are as a human being. When we shut off that child, then we shut off the joyous part of ourselves. So we learn the rules to fit in. And then at some point in time, when we're older, we can learn, wait a minute, these rules are not God's rules. God's rules are simple. God's rules are love always wins. When we respond to any situation, a happy or a fearful situation, when we respond from a place of love and being connected to the infinite source of love, then our world works. And that's the first rule. The second rule, and these are the only two rules that I know of that always work. The second rule is God reflects back to us our thoughts, our actions, and our emotions. So when we're able to say, wait a minute, what I'm experiencing for me in the outside world is a reflection of the inside world. And when I can be clear in my thoughts, clear in my actions, and be fluid in my emotions, good, bad, and otherwise, and let all my emotions come through and experience them, then I can release what is not me. I can release the pain. I can release the judgment. I can release the suffering. I can let all that go. And when I do, then love just flows in to replace that. And now I can have a more joyous experience. And then the real challenge is I might have to do that for an advanced soul 40 or 50 times. For somebody like myself, I might have to go through 2,000 or 3,000 experiences of releasing sadness, releasing judgment, releasing old pains. But every time I do release something negative, the natural positive state of who I am, who I was as a child when I came into this planet, it comes back in and replaces all those negative emotions and gives me a more joyous, fulfilled, balanced experience.
And now, if I'm clear on what you just shared now, all you're trying to infer is that we can stumble on joy, peace, and clarity, or we need to create them or find them.
Well, we can look for it. When we look for joy, we find joy. We find what we go looking for. Partially because when we're looking for something, our mind is vibrating at that object or subject or the experience, the situation we're looking for. So when we hold these thoughts, they have energy. They vibrate at a frequency of our goal. And through the law of attraction, the universe responds to those vibrations and those thoughts within us. So when we go looking for joy, we'll find more joy. When we go looking for something like being cheated or lack instead of abundance, or we look for problems, then our thoughts are vibrating at those situations we don't really want. So the whatever we go looking for, we find. So when we look for joy, when we look for things to be grateful for, gratitude is the fastest trick for feeling better. When we look at, do I have food and water, and even if it's just I'm healthier or feeling better than I was yesterday, even if I'm in a place of challenge, if I'm in a place that's not perfect, if I look around myself, I'll find maybe just a beautiful flower on the sidewalk, on the side of the sidewalk, that I can find beauty in. And to stop for a moment and be aware and be observing of any beauty, of anything we're grateful for, allows us to vibrate for a moment at that abundance that's around us, at the beauty of God. And when we vibrate at the beauty of God through our thoughts and our feelings and the action of just slowing down and observing, then God brings us more things to be grateful for. So that's really, for me, a great trick to get me closer to joy.
Thank you, Randy Lyman, for sharing your thoughts on this important topic. Really, is there a correlation between life crafting and finding your purpose and meaning in life?
Okay, one more time on the question. My connection's not so good.
The question is there a purpose between life crafting and finding your purpose and meaning in life?
Well, to me, the purpose of life is, it's a game. We believe that making our physical world important is going to bring us happiness. And it's nice to have a comfortable physical world. But for me, the purpose is about really becoming comfortable with our emotions, feeling the love of God that exists within us, and the feeling and the sense of being in God that exists within the people around us. And that's hard to see in the people around us when they're wounded, when they're responding from a place of negative emotion. But when we become connected with our own inner guidance, with the own inner beautiful being that we are as a part of spirit, then we can see that within others and we experience it in the world around us. And the game is to come here and forget who we are, a spark of the divine source, and slowly remember that this is not about the material world. This is not about how much money we make. This is not about how beautiful we look. This is about remembering that we are part of all that is. This is about remembering that we're these beautiful, joyous beings who are able to see the challenge as a game and a gift, and to be able to see that love exists in everything around us and within ourselves.
All right. Randy, do you have any important projects you have on your plate you think it's going to be beneficial to the audience of the podcast? Feel free to share with them if you have any.
Well, yes, thank you for asking that, Omobola. I have a book called The Third Element that is releasing in about 6 weeks in March. And it is all about my journey to from being a left brain scientist where everything was logic and reason, to opening up my mind and opening up my experience to the emotional side of being human, and how the gift of the emotional side of being human, embracing that, it led me down a path to release my pain from the past and to find the beauty in the emotional side of being human and become comfortable with that, and how it is there for all of us to embrace. And we can choose to avoid it if we want to. But as I said, I'm 63 now. The last 35 years have been so much happier than the first 28 years. When I tried to be smart and I tried to work hard to find happiness, I found a little bit of happiness. But when I really embraced the human side, the emotional side of being human, the the deeper part of being human, when I embraced that, my life improved. And so I talk about my story, but more importantly, I outline and explain to people how simple it is that the world around us, through the law of attraction, responds to our work at healing, and our work at feeling our emotions, and our work at being open to the emotional side of ourselves, and how we can do that step by step. And I outline some different exercises, the 7 levels of truth. I talk about um, how breathing and tapping, EFT, is really effective. I talk about that in the book, and I have some exercises that are helpful. So this book for me shares my experience over the last 35 years in hopes that other people can really find some techniques that help them find and experience more joy in their life today.
Absolutely. Now, how can we connect and learn more about your book and also about what you are doing and up to lately? Can you
Well,
share your social media handles on your website?
I'm also putting together training for leadership. There are a lot of leadership in business and communities today who are learning, and they're becoming aware that when we are strong enough within ourselves and our connection to a higher power, then we can be strong enough to be vulnerable and show our true self to others. When we're willing to be vulnerable and share our mistakes, share our fears, and to share our understanding that who we are as humans, our power doesn't come from our title. Our power does not come from our money. Our power does not come from our position. Our power comes from the understanding that we're all here together to learn and grow together. And when a leader can show up with support for the group and draw the best out of the people that we lead, to help those people we lead find their own strength, to find their own voice, to find their own power, then that's truly powerful. And so that's what I am on a path to teach leaders about. That's how I was able to create so much physical and financial abundance in my life, was by helping the people around me find the power within themselves and to lead from a place of being vulnerable, and from being able to lead from a place of understanding, to create a culture of belonging, and to go about leadership in a way that is completely different than the way we led other people to success in the past.
All right. We love to have your social media handles on your website so we can
Well,
connect
thank you
and
so
also learn more about your upcoming book.
So my website is randylyman.com, and I'm guessing you'll put that in the captions, but R-A-N-D-Y, for those listening, RANDYLYMAN.com. And there I've got information about my book, about my teachings. I have links to some wonderful, helpful videos. And also Instagram or Facebook are a wonderful place to follow me at I am Randy Lyman. And I'm just really happy to be in a place in my life where I can share my experiences to help people find a deeper part of themselves, to help them find more balance, as you said, and harmony and joy in their life.
Thank you, Randy Lyman. Now we call you the spiritual cowboy. Thank you for sharing your thoughts on today's show. Oh, I'm loving that. Thank you for justifying that name. Thank you for your insight, providing this a profound insight, especially as we focus on crafting a purposeful life that is full of harmony and abundance. We really appreciate your time, and also we wish you best of luck in all the projects you embark upon, especially the upcoming book that is on the pipeline. Wish you best of luck always. Randy?
Thank you so much, Mobile. I love the work that you do and the way you've dedicated your life to touching people in a positive way and helping them find more joy. That's just so beautiful to see and be a part of today. So thank you.
Hey, Randy, I'm humbled by that. I thank you for the positive feedback. Now, if you'd like to catch up with any missed episodes of Live Well Live by Omobola Stephen, where we offer disruptive yet constructive mindship conversations on the personal development and self-improvement that is going to pivot the positive changes and transformation you and I need in this side of eternity. For us to be who we are truly meant to be, as it was originally meant for us to be. It's Live Well Live by Omobola Stephen. That's the podcast that you need to be listening to. We have expert and professionals who are adept in these topics and who have life transforming insights to share with the audience of the backstory of Library by Omobola Stephen across the globe. Now you can search for Library by Omobola Stephen on any cross-promotion platforms, podcast cross-promotion platforms or podcast and distribution platforms to bump into online, and do have an amazing time as you listen to this transformative podcast. Till I come your way, I need you to stay safe always. Thank you once again, Randy, for sharing your thoughts and your valuable time on this important topic. Wish you all the best.
You're welcome. It's been great to be a part of this.